Hi guys, N6QW here. We're looking at a really old transceiver, a national NCX200. The NCX200 followed the NCX3. The NCX3 was introduced about somewhere around 1963, because I owned one in 1963 when I went out to Midway Island. And the NCX3, of course, was only a three band rig, 80, 40, and 20. And then they came out with the NCX200, which is a 5-band rig, which has got a similar architecture to the NCX3. And then they came out with the NCX500. They put a pair of heavier duty sweep tubes in there. And then they had even the NCX1000, and there are a few NCX1000s around and ran a kilowatt. But anyway, some of these old boat anchors can be had quite inexpensively. As a matter of fact, I have another national transceiver, an NCX3, and I bought the NCX3 and the power supply, which is to the left here. Total price was $69 for the power supply, which had one disconnected high voltage cap, and the NCX3, and of course the NCX5 is a little better transceiver in that it has five bands on it, and has some other functionality that the NCX3 does not have. Anyway, it's New Year's Day 2021. Let it warm up for about an hour or two, and the analog VFO kind of does okay. But right now we're just turned it on not too long ago. There's a little bit of a drift, and you get a real appreciation of the drift on these rigs when you build something like the SI 5351, and it doesn't move, and you got band agility. And the thing that also drives me nuts with the NCX3 and some of the national rigs, but they have solved it in the Galaxy, is that they do not have a linear VFO. In other words, at the lower end you have a lot of band spread, and at the higher end, boy, the figures really get kind of squinty. So I don't know why. The other thing too is the S meter really jumps around. And you just, you know, if it's S meter or the AGC is on fast, it would be nice if you can slow that down. Now, it might be a capacitor issue, I don't know, but it's got a 5.2 megahertz crystal filter in it, and which makes it kind of nice. And I think it's about 2.7 kilohertz wide, so it's kind of nice. Some accessories included although you have a knob here, it's not installed. There's a plug-in 8-pin octa socket in the back. You can plug in a crystal calibrator, so you have no idea where you're at. This little control right here lets you adjust the fiduciary so that when you get it on frequency, but kind of hard to tell where you're at without that crystal calibrator. It's got this standard lineup. Oh, the other thing is it's got scales on it for the full 10-meter band, but it only came with one crystal. So the crystal it came with was 28.5 to I think 29, which is kind of useless. So it would be nice to get a crystal so you can cover 28 to 28.5, which would cover the CW portion and DX portion of the band, and the beacons. Of course, the beacons are in the CW portion. You got relatively good sensitivity. It seems to do better on 80 and 40 with regard to sensitivity. 20 is okay. 15, you wonder if the band is dead or it's just not hearing them. Anyway, this is Pete, N6QW, and I'm going to tour a couple of old boat anchors I've got here over the next couple days, and then make a composite video. So this is the NCX200. NCX200, and it's being operated by the National NCX supply. So thank you for riding along, and we'll end this video here and pick up the next rig. Hi guys, Pete here, N6QW. This is the second national transceiver I have, the NCX3, And this combination of the NCX3 and the NCXA power supply, I bought on eBay for a total of $69, and they charged me about $60 to ship it. So for roughly $130, I got a whole transceiver and a power supply, and it works pretty good. This is a 3-band unit, and I had one of these when they first came out in 1963, and I had this on Midway Island, and I made a few contacts on 20 meters. Didn't have a very good antenna. 40 meters was not authorized, believe it or not, because of the zone it was in. You couldn't operate on 40 meters out on Midway, and of course you couldn't do much on 75. So but it was kind of nice to operate a little bit on 20 meters, and of course I used the main stationer KM6BI. They had a Collins KWM2 and 30L1 amp, and they also had a 3-element beam sitting on top of a hanger that was effectively put the beam out at about 150 feet. So it was an easy choice, but kind of a nice rig, not too much to it. I subsequently had a problem with it because I burnt something out when trying to load it up on 75 meters. And you know, for the most part it was okay, but this one is in pretty good shape. The case is in amazing shape, and so is the front panel. So when I first got it, had a problem with the S meter, would not work, and there was an auto tolerance resistor that I replaced, and that kind of fixed that. It's early afternoon. Not too many stations on. Maybe I'll swing it up here to 20 meters. Not hearing too much. Of course, the Pi network is also in the receive loop, so you get to the Pi network, and that pretty much gets you close to. That's like 30
degrees below normal. Let's see. It's 38 degrees right now. That's insane. Oh, God. Oh, boy. So anyway, yeah.
I think it's kind of cool as you peak things up on the Pi network. That kind of puts you on receive. That kind of puts you where the Pi network should be tuned up for transmit. Yeah, this revert 20 meters CW. Pete here, N6QW. This is the NCX3.